Captain Jinho Kim stared at the display screen in front of him. Something was wrong. The numbers on his instruments did not make sense. For 3 days, his ship had been patrolling near Jupiter. It was supposed to be a quiet mission. Nothing ever happened out here in the cold darkness between the planets. But today was different. "Captain, you need to see this," said Dr. Mira Cho from her station. She was the science officer on the UES Defender. Her voice carried worry. "These readings are impossible." Jinho walked over to her workstation. The gravity sensors showed strange patterns around Jupiter's largest moon. The patterns looked like massive objects moving in space, but their scanners showed nothing there. "Run the scan again," Jinho ordered. Mira's fingers moved quickly over her controls. The same readings appeared. Large shapes were moving through space near the moon. Objects as big as cities, but they remained invisible to normal sensors. "Could it be equipment failure?" asked Lieutenant Taehyun Park, the ship's communications officer. "No." Mira shook her head. "I checked everything twice. These are real gravitational disturbances. Something very large is out there. Something we cannot see." Jinho felt ice in his stomach. In all his years of space patrol, he had never seen anything like this. The United Earth Space Command had sent ships to every corner of the solar system. They had found ancient ruins on Mars and strange crystals on the outer planets. But they had never found signs of active alien technology. "Send a message to Earth Command," Jinho said. "Priority 1. Tell them we have unknown contacts near Jupiter." As Taehyun began typing the message, alarm bells started ringing throughout the ship. The defensive systems had detected something approaching fast. "Captain," called out pilot Kangmin Lee from the front of the bridge. "We have incoming objects. Multiple contacts. They just appeared out of nowhere." On the main screen, dozens of ships suddenly became visible. They had been hidden somehow, but now they showed themselves. The ships were unlike anything humans had ever built. Some looked like living creatures with smooth curves and organic surfaces. Others were geometric shapes that hurt to look at. A few appeared to be made of pure energy that shifted and moved like liquid light. "They are surrounding us," Kangman said. His voice was steady, but Jinho could hear the fear underneath. The alien ships moved with purpose. They formed a perfect circle around the human vessel. Each ship was at least 10 times larger than the Defender. Some were even bigger. The smallest alien ship could have swallowed Jinho's entire vessel. "Are their weapons active?" Jinho asked. Mira checked her sensors. "Yes, Captain. All of them show high energy readings. They could destroy us in seconds." Jinho had trained for many situations during his 20 years in space. He had fought pirates near the asteroid belt. He had rescued colonists during storms on Mars. But nothing had prepared him for this moment. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now he knew they were not. "Open communications," he ordered. Taehyun worked at his station. "All frequencies are active, Captain." For long minutes, there was only silence. The alien ships held their positions around the Defender. They did not attack, but they did not communicate either. Jinho could feel sweat on his forehead despite the cool air of the bridge. Then a voice spoke through the ship's speakers. It sounded human, but something was wrong with it. The words were correct, but the tone was too perfect. Like a computer trying to sound natural. "Human vessel, you will listen carefully. You will not move. You will not activate weapons. Any hostile action will result in your immediate destruction." Jinho looked at his crew. They were all staring at the speakers with wide eyes. This was really happening. They were talking to aliens. "This is Captain Jinho Kim of the United Earth Space Command," he said slowly. "We mean no harm. We are on a peaceful patrol mission." "Your intentions are irrelevant," the voice replied. "You will relay a message to your leaders on the planet you call Earth. The Galactic Coalition has been watching your species for many cycles. Your expansion into space must end immediately." "Galactic Coalition?" Jinho asked. 7 species united in common purpose. "We have observed your kind's aggressive nature and rapid technological growth. These patterns are familiar to us. We will not allow your species to become a threat to civilized worlds." Dr. Mira Cho stepped forward. "What threat?" "We have never attacked anyone. We are explorers, not conquerors," a new voice answered her. This one sounded different, like metal scraping against stone. "Your species conquered every other form of life on your home world. You consumed entire ecosystems. You fought endless wars against your own kind. Now you reach for the stars with the same hunger." "That was our past," Jinho said. "Humanity has changed. We seek knowledge and peaceful contact with other civilizations." "Words," said a third voice that sounded like wind through crystals. Your actions speak louder. In 50 of your years, you have spread to 17 worlds. You strip resources. You build weapons. You multiply without limit. The first voice spoke again. The coalition offers humanity one choice. Abandon all colonies beyond your home world. Dismantle your space fleets. Confine your species to the third planet of this system. You have one solar cycle to comply. And if we refuse, Jinho asked, though he feared the answer, then your species will be eliminated. This decision is final. There will be no negotiations, no second chances. Comply or face extinction. The alien ships began to move. Some disappeared, becoming invisible again. Others flew away toward different parts of the solar system. Within minutes, only 3 ships remained visible around the Defender. Your ship will carry this message to your leaders, the first voice said. Any attempt to follow us or attack our vessels will result in the immediate destruction of all human colonies. We are always watching. Then the remaining ships vanished, leaving the Defender alone in empty space. For several minutes, no one on the bridge spoke. They all stared at the empty space where the alien fleet had been. The gravity sensors still showed disturbances, but much weaker now. Most of the ships had truly left. Finally, Jinho found his voice. Set course for Earth, maximum speed. Yes, Captain, Kangmin replied. Taehyun, prepare a full report for Admiral Hyun Park. Everything we saw and heard. Already working on it, sir. As the Defender turned toward home, Jinho looked out at the stars. They seemed different now. What had once been an endless frontier full of possibilities now felt like a vast prison. Somewhere out there, powerful alien species were watching every human settlement. Judging. Waiting. The universe was much more crowded and dangerous than anyone on Earth had imagined, and humanity had just been given an ultimatum that could mean the end of their dreams among the stars, or the beginning of their greatest war. Ambassador Su-min Lee walked quickly through the marble halls of the United Earth Government building in Geneva. Her heels clicked against the polished floor as she hurried toward the emergency meeting room. 2 hours ago, she had been enjoying lunch at her favorite restaurant. Now she faced the most important moment in human history. The message from Captain Jinho Kim had reached Earth that morning. Within minutes, every government leader on the planet had been contacted. President Do-hyun Yoon had called an immediate emergency session. The world's most powerful people were gathering to hear about humanity's first contact with alien life. Suman entered the large conference room. President Yoon sat at the head of a long table. Around him were the leaders of every major nation on Earth. General Su Young-han of the Terran Marines sat next to Dr. Wanbin Kang, the head of Advanced Weapons Research. Everyone looked worried. Ambassador Lee, President Yoon said as she took her seat. Have you reviewed Captain Kim's full report? Yes, Mr. President, the details are disturbing. The aliens claim to represent 7 different species. They have been watching us for decades. They view humanity as a threat that must be stopped. Admiral Hyun Park, commander of the Earth Space Defense Force, leaned forward. How many ships did Captain Kim see? Over 30 vessels in the first group. But the aliens indicated this was only a small part of their total fleet. They have positioned ships around every human colony in the solar system. Every colony? Asked Dr. Wanbin Kang. Mars, Luna Base, the asteroid mining stations? All of them. The aliens have been invisible to our sensors, but they have been watching everything we do. President Yoon rubbed his temples. He looked like he had aged 10 years since morning. What exactly do they want from us? Suman opened her datapad and read directly from the report. Complete abandonment of all colonies beyond Earth. Dismantling of all space-capable military vessels. Confinement of humanity to our home planet. We have one solar cycle to comply. 1 year, muttered General Su Young-han. They are giving us 1 year to give up everything we have built in space. And if we refuse? Asked the president. Total extinction of our species. No negotiations. No second chances. The room fell silent. These were people who had spent their lives solving problems and making difficult decisions. But none had ever faced a choice like this. Surrender everything humanity had worked for, or face complete destruction. Dr. Wanbin Kang was the first to speak.
What do we know about their technology?
According to the sensor readings, it is far beyond ours. Their ships can become completely invisible. Some appear to be made of living tissue. Others seem to be pure energy. Captain Kim estimated that the smallest alien vessel could destroy our largest battleship. Could we fight them? Asked General Han. Admiral Hyun Park shook his head. Not with conventional weapons. Our entire space fleet has maybe 200 combat-ready ships. They have shown us over 30 vessels in just one location. If they have forces positioned around every colony, they could have thousands of ships. What about our ground-based defenses? Asked the president. Useless against enemies who can attack from space. They could destroy our cities from orbit before our missiles could reach them. President Yoon stood up and walked to the large window overlooking Lake Geneva. Outside, people walked along the shore, unaware that their entire future hung in the balance. Children played in the park while their parents sat on benches enjoying the afternoon sun. None of them knew that alien ships were watching from the darkness of space. Why now? The president asked without turning around. Humanity has been exploring space for over 50 years. Why are they making demands now? Ambassador Sumin Lee consulted her notes. According to the aliens, our expansion pattern matches that of a previous species, one that conquered half the galaxy before being destroyed. They call it an aggressive growth pattern. They claim we show the same signs. What signs? Asked Dr. Wanbin Kang. Rapid technological advancement, quick expansion to multiple worlds, resource extraction, military development, population growth beyond the carrying capacity of our original world. General Han laughed, but there was no humor in it. So we are being punished for being successful. They also mentioned our history on Earth, how we conquered other species and fought wars among ourselves. They see this as evidence of our violent nature. President Yoon turned back to face the room. And they believe we will do the same thing to other planets and species. Yes, sir. They claim to be protecting the galaxy from us. The discussion continued for hours. Some leaders argued for compliance. They said human lives were more important than colonies on distant worlds. Others demanded defiance. They claimed humanity should never bow to threats regardless of the consequences. As the debate raged, reports began coming in from across the solar system. On Mars, Colony Commander Taehyun Seo reported strange energy readings in orbit around the red planet. His sensors detected massive objects moving through space, but they remained invisible to normal scanning. At Luna Base on Earth's moon, Colonel Ji-Yu Nam initiated emergency protocols. The base's defensive shields flickered and sparked as unknown scanning beams probed their systems. The aliens were testing human defenses, measuring their capabilities. On the asteroid mining station Ceres Prime, Captain Bora Shin watched in amazement as huge ships materialized around her facility. The vessels were clearly alien, unlike anything in human design. Some looked like giant sea creatures with flowing tentacles. Others were geometric shapes that seemed to fold in on themselves. They made no aggressive moves, but their presence was a clear message. Dr. Wanbin Kang received reports from his research facilities throughout the system. Every installation was being watched. Every human presence in space was under alien observation. The scope of the surveillance was overwhelming. They have been planning this for a long time, he told the assembly. This is not a sudden decision. They have positioned forces everywhere. They know the location of every human settlement, every ship, every weapon. President Yoon looked around the room at the faces of Earth's leaders. Some showed fear. Others showed anger. All showed the weight of an impossible decision. We need more information, he said finally. Admiral Park, how quickly can we contact all our colonies? Within hours, Mr. President. But the aliens warned that any suspicious activity would result in immediate attack on our settlements. Then we must be careful. But our people in space deserve to know what is happening. They have a right to participate in this decision. As evening fell over Geneva, President Yoon made his choice. He would address not just the leaders in the room, but all of humanity. Every person on Earth and in the colonies would hear his words. The decision about humanity's future would not be made by politicians alone. The president walked to the communication center. In a few hours, he would give the most important speech in human history. He would tell 7 billion people that they were not alone in the universe, and that their new neighbors wanted them to give up their dreams of the stars. But first, he needed to decide what humanity's answer would be. President Do Yoon stood before the cameras in the Global Communications Center. Behind him, the flags of every nation on Earth hung in perfect rows. His speech would reach every human settlement from Earth to the farthest mining stations. The words he spoke in the next few minutes would decide humanity's fate. Citizens of Earth and our colonies, he began, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Today we learned that we are not alone in the universe, but our first contact with alien life has not brought the peace we hoped for. He explained the alien ultimatum clearly and simply. Humanity had 1 year to abandon space and return to Earth or face complete destruction. The alien coalition claimed they were protecting the galaxy from human aggression. I speak for all of humanity when I say this, President Yoon continued, his voice growing stronger. We will not surrender our future to fear. We will not abandon our colonies and return to the cage they offer us. Humanity chooses to stand free among the stars whatever the cost. The response was immediate and overwhelming. From Mars colony to the outer planet mining stations, humans cheered and wept. They had been given a choice between slavery and death, and they chose to fight. But the aliens had been listening too. Within hours of the president's speech, the attacks began. Captain Borashin was commanding the defense of Ceres Prime when the first alien ships appeared. The asteroid mining station housed 50,000 people and provided rare metals essential to human technology. It was also completely defenseless against advanced alien weapons. Contact approaching from Sector 7, reported her sensor officer. It's massive, Captain. 10 times the size of our largest transport. On the main screen, a creature that looked like a giant jellyfish moved through space. Its body pulsed with bioluminescent light, and long tentacles drifted behind it like ribbons. But this was no peaceful sea animal. Weapon ports opened along its surface, glowing with deadly energy. All mining ships return to base immediately, Bora ordered. Activate emergency shields. The mining vessels were not warships. They were converted cargo haulers with basic armor and mining lasers. Against alien technology, they were like wooden clubs facing modern rifles. The bioship fired first. Streams of plasma cut through space, striking one of the mining vessels. The human ship exploded instantly, taking 12 crew members with it. Target their weapon ports, Bora commanded. All ships concentrate fire. The mining lasers struck the alien creature, but the beams barely scratched its surface. The bioship's skin seemed to adapt, growing thicker wherever the lasers hit. Within minutes, the human weapons could not damage it at all. Captain, called her communications officer, the alien is changing. Its armor is getting stronger. More bioships appeared around Ceres Prime. Each one was different, but all shared the same ability to adapt to human weapons. What started as a battle quickly became a massacre. On Earth's moon, engineer Kangmin Lim worked frantically in the deep laboratories beneath Luna Base. The facility had been designed for scientific research, not warfare. But desperate times called for desperate measures. How long until the experimental plasma cannon is ready? Asked Colonel Ji-Yu Nam, the base commander. 12 hours if everything goes perfectly, Kangmin replied, sweat dripping down his face. But the power requirements are enormous. Firing at once might shut down life support for the entire base. Above them, alien ships moved through Luna's orbit like sharks circling prey. The creatures were made of pure energy, shifting between solid and gas states. They were probing the moon's defensive systems, testing for weaknesses. Colonel, reported the base's sensor operator, the energy beings are doing something to our electromagnetic field. Power levels are fluctuating across all systems. The lights in the laboratory flickered. Computer screens went dark for moments before coming back online. The aliens were not just attacking, they were studying, learning how human technology worked so they could destroy it more efficiently. On Mars, Colony Commander Taehyun Seo faced a different type of enemy. The ships attacking his settlement were geometric shapes that hurt to look at directly. They folded and twisted through dimensions that human eyes could not properly see. Sir, our missiles keep missing, reported his weapons officer. The targeting computers cannot lock onto those ships. They seem to exist in several places at once. Switch to manual targeting, Taehyun ordered. Trust your eyes, not the machines. But even human eyes struggled to track the alien vessels. They appeared to phase in and out of normal space, making them nearly impossible to hit. When the humans did manage to strike them, their weapons passed harmlessly through the ships as if they were made of shadow. The geometric ships returned fire with weapons that defied physics. Energy beams that curved around obstacles, projectiles that seemed to travel backward through time, explosions that destroyed targets before the weapons were even fired. Dr. Yuna Park worked in her laboratory on Europa, studying fragments of alien technology recovered from previous encounters. She was a xenobiologist, someone who studied alien life forms, but the samples on her table challenged everything she thought she knew about life in the universe. These bioship fragments are not just alive, she reported to Earth Command. They are intelligent on a cellular level. Each piece can think independently and adapt to threats. It is like fighting an enemy that learns from every attack. Her analysis revealed something even more disturbing. The alien coalition species had never fought a war of total extinction. Their conflicts were about territory or resources, not the complete destruction of an enemy species. They fought to win, not to kill every last opponent. This hesitation is our only advantage, she told Admiral Hyun Park during an emergency communication. They are holding back because they do not want to commit genocide, but their restraint may not last forever. As the attacks continued across the solar system, a pattern emerged. The aliens were systematically destroying human military capabilities while carefully avoiding civilian targets. They wanted to break humanity's will to fight without actually exterminating them, but this precision was also a weakness. The aliens were fighting with one hand tied behind their backs. They possessed the power to destroy every human settlement in minutes, but their moral restrictions prevented them from using it. Admiral Hyun Park realized this during the Battle of Titan Station. The orbital platform around Saturn was humanity's most advanced military installation. When alien ships arrived to destroy it, they took hours to disable the base instead of simply vaporizing it. They could have destroyed us instantly, he told his staff after the attack, but they chose not to. They want us to surrender, not die. That gives us time to find another option. In his private office, Admiral Park opened a classified file marked Project Lazarus. The contents were so secret that only 5 people on Earth knew they existed. The project represented humanity's darkest research into the nature of their own species. Computer, initiate authorization sequence for Project Lazarus, he said quietly. Authorization confirmed, the computer replied. Warning, this project is classified at the highest level. Implementation may result in irreversible changes to human psychology and behavior. The Admiral stared at the file for a long time. Project Lazarus could give humanity the tools to fight back against the alien coalition, but using it would change what it meant to be human. The cure might be worse than the disease. Outside his window, Earth hung in space like a blue marble. On its surface, 7 billion people continued their lives unaware of how close they were to extinction. Children played in schoolyards. Families shared dinners. Young couples fell in love under starry skies. But those stars now hid enemies with technology beyond human understanding. Enemies who saw humanity as a threat that must be contained or destroyed. The Admiral made his decision. He entered his authorization code and watched as Project Lazarus came online. Somewhere in the deep laboratories beneath the Earth's surface, systems that had been dormant for decades began to activate. Humanity was about to discover what they truly were beneath their civilized surface. And the galaxy would learn why every other species on Earth had gone extinct. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a laboratory that officially did not exist, Dr. Wanbin Kang watched his life's work come to life. Project Lazarus had been his secret research for 15 years. Now it would either save humanity or destroy what made them human. Are you sure about this? Asked Lieutenant Junho Yu. He lay on a metal table surrounded by complex medical equipment. Wires and tubes connected to his body monitored every heartbeat and brainwave. The enhancement process cannot be reversed, Dr. Kang warned him. You will not be the same person afterward. Your mind will work differently. Your instincts will be stronger and more violent. Doctor, I watched my entire squadron get destroyed by those alien creatures. Junho replied. If this gives me a chance to fight back, I will take it. Dr. Kang nodded and activated the neural enhancement sequence. The machine hummed to life, sending carefully designed electrical pulses into Junho's brain. The process would unlock genetic memories buried deep in human DNA. Memories of when humanity's ancestors were the most dangerous predators on Earth. For 3 hours, Junho screamed. The machine was rewriting his neural pathways, awakening instincts that civilization had suppressed for thousands of years. His body temperature rose as his metabolism increased. His muscles grew denser. His reflexes became lightning fast, but the real changes were happening in his mind. When Junho opened his eyes, Dr. Kang stepped back in fear. The young man's gaze had changed completely. Where before there had been worry and uncertainty, now there was only cold calculation. Junho looked at everyone in the room like a wolf studying sheep. How do you feel? Dr. Kang asked carefully. Different, Junho replied. His voice was the same, but something fundamental had changed. I can smell fear on you, Doctor. Your heart is beating fast. You are afraid of what you have created. The enhancement worked faster than we expected, Dr. Kang said to his assistant. His senses are already superhuman. Junho sat up on the table with fluid grace. Every movement was precise and controlled. I can hear conversations 3 floors above us. I can feel the vibrations of people walking through the corridors. And I know exactly how to kill everyone in this room with my bare hands. The laboratory fell silent. This was what they had created. A human being with the instincts and abilities of a perfect predator. Admiral Hyun Park entered the room. He had been enhanced 2 days earlier and was already leading the project. His transformation had been even more dramatic than Junho's. Lieutenant, you will lead the first enhanced squad, the Admiral said. We have volunteers from every branch of the military. Marines, pilots, special forces. All of them want the enhancement. When do we begin combat operations? Junho asked. Immediately. The alien bioships are attacking our mining facility at Europa. You will take your squad and capture one of their vessels. Capture, sir? Not destroy? Admiral Park smiled, but it was not a human smile anymore. It was the expression of a predator contemplating prey. We are going to show the aliens what happens when you threaten a species of hunters. 6 hours later, the stealth ship UES Predator approached Europa's orbit. The vessel carried 12 enhanced humans, each one a perfect killing machine. Lieutenant Junho led them through the final preparations. Remember, he told his squad, we are not trying to win fairly. We are going to use every dirty trick, every psychological weapon, every advantage we can find. Honor is for species that can afford it. Sergeant Minho Choi checked his weapons. He had been enhanced for only 18 hours, but already he thought differently about warfare. The bioship crews probably never faced opponents like us before. No, agreed Corporal Heejin Song. Every other species they fight evolved from prey animals. They fight to establish territory or defend resources. They do not understand hunting for the kill. The Predator's sensors detected the alien bioship, patrolling near Europa's ice-covered surface. The creature was massive, at least 3 kilometers long. Its organic hull pulsed with bioluminescent patterns as it searched for human vessels to destroy. How do we board something that size? Asked Private Donghyun Kim. We make it come to us, Junho replied. He activated the ship's emergency beacon, making the Predator appear to be a damaged civilian vessel. The bioship responded exactly as predicted. It moved toward the apparently helpless human ship to finish it off. As it approached, tentacles extended from its hull to grab the smaller vessel. Now, Junho ordered. The enhanced humans moved with inhuman speed and coordination. They cut through the bioship's tentacles and used them as boarding bridges. Within minutes, they were inside the alien vessel. The bioship's crew was unlike anything in human experience. They were part of the Necron Collective, a hive-minded species that shared thoughts and emotions. Individual crew members were connected to each other through biological links, but the Necrons had never faced opponents who understood psychological warfare. Junho's squad did not simply kill the alien crew members. They isolated them from the hive mind first, forcing each Necron to experience individual terror for the first time in their lives. Then they killed them slowly, broadcasting the screams across the ship's communication system. The psychological impact was devastating. The remaining Necrons began to panic, something their species had never experienced. Their hive mind, used to shared courage and collective thinking, collapsed under the weight of individual fear. The bridge is ahead, reported Sergeant Minho. His enhanced senses could detect the bioship's control center. Through the organic walls, they found the ship's captain, a large Necron with multiple tentacles and several eyes. He was trying to send a distress signal to the other bioships. Stop, Junho ordered in the creature's language. The enhancement process had included linguistic programming, giving him the ability to speak dozens of alien languages. The Necron captain stared at him with all 6 eyes. It had never seen anything like the enhanced humans. They moved like predators, but they had the intelligence of a technological species. They were something new and terrifying. You will surrender your ship, Junho said calmly. You will order your fleet to withdraw from human space, or we will do to every member of your species what we did to your crew. The captain's tentacles trembled. Through the hive mind, it could feel the terror of the dying crew members. The humans had not just killed them, they had destroyed their connection to the collective consciousness first. It was a form of torture that no Necron had ever imagined. "We cannot withdraw," the captain said in broken human speech. "The coalition commands us to fight." "Then your species will learn what extinction feels like," Junho replied. Commander So-hee Kim received the success report while commanding the defense of Mars colony. Her enhanced squad had just captured 3 alien vessels using similar tactics. The psychological impact was spreading through the alien fleets. "The bioships are retreating from Sector 12, reported her communications officer. "They are requesting reinforcements and claiming the humans have become something different." So-hee smiled. The enhancement process had worked beyond their wildest expectations. Humans were remembering what they truly were beneath their civilized surface. They were apex predators who had conquered an entire planet by being better killers than anything else that lived there. Dr. Yoon-ha Park studied the psychological profiles of the enhanced humans from her laboratory. The changes were permanent and irreversible. The enhanced individuals could still think and reason, but their fundamental nature had changed. "They are no longer entirely human," she reported to Earth Command. "The enhancement unlocks genetic memories from our evolutionary past. Instincts and behaviors that made our ancestors the most successful hunters in Earth's history." "Are they dangerous to regular humans?" asked Admiral Park. "Not directly. But they see unenhanced humans as weak and inefficient. The enhanced individuals have a natural urge to protect and lead, but also to dominate." As reports came in from across the solar system, it became clear that the enhanced humans were winning battles that should have been impossible. They fought with a savagery and cunning that the alien coalition could not understand or counter. But victory was coming at a price. Each success made the enhanced humans less like the peaceful species humanity had tried to become. They were awakening something that had been sleeping in human DNA for millennia. The beast that had once made every other predator on Earth extinct was stirring again. And it was hungry. Admiral Hyun Park stood on the bridge of the UES Apex, humanity's first fully enhanced warship. Every crew member had undergone the Lazarus transformation. They no longer fought like the desperate defenders they had been just weeks ago. Now they were hunters, and the galaxy was their hunting ground. "Sir, we have located another alien supply convoy," reported Commander Minji Lee from her tactical station. Her enhanced senses could detect the gravitational signatures of cloaked ships from twice the normal range. 3 transport vessels and 2 escorts heading toward the Valdari fleet near Saturn. "Perfect," Admiral Park said. His voice carried the cold satisfaction of a predator that had found prey. "Signal the wolf pack. We hunt together." 6 enhanced human ships moved through space like sharks through dark water. They had learned to work together with an efficiency that terrified their enemies. Each captain knew what the others were thinking without speaking. The enhancement had awakened not just individual hunting instincts but pack behavior as well. Captain Young-ho Nam commanded one of the escort frigates. His ship, the UES Hunter, had been designed for stealth operations, but under his enhanced leadership, it had become something much deadlier. "Target the escort ships first," came Admiral Park's voice over the communication system. "Disable their engines and weapons, but keep the crews alive. We want them to tell their friends what happened here." The human ships struck without warning. Their weapons had been modified with technology stolen from captured alien vessels. Plasma beams designed by the energy-based aliens cut through Valdari armor like paper. Bioweapons taken from Necron ships ate through hull metal in seconds. But the real weapon was the enhanced humans themselves. Lieutenant Daeho Choi led a boarding party onto one of the transport vessels. His Marines moved with inhuman grace through the alien corridors. They had studied the psychological profiles of every enemy species. They knew exactly how to break their minds. The Valdari crew were warriors by nature. They had evolved from pack hunters on their homeworld. But they fought for honor and territory, concepts that the enhanced humans no longer cared about. "Surrender your ship," Daeho ordered the Valdari captain in its own language. "Never," the alien replied. "We will fight to the last warrior." "You misunderstand," Daeho said calmly. "We are not asking you to surrender to save your lives. We are asking you to surrender to save your species." The enhanced Marine gestured to his squad. They had captured several Valdari crew members and were holding them in full view of the bridge. But they were not threatening to kill them quickly. "Your warriors believe death in battle brings honor," Daeho continued. But we will not give them that honor. We will keep them alive and let them watch as we hunt down every Valdari ship in space. They will see their entire fleet destroyed while they sit helpless in our prisons. The psychological warfare was devastatingly effective. The Valdari captain had been prepared to die fighting. But watching his species face extinction while he remained alive was unbearable. "What do you want from us?" the captain asked. "Tell the coalition that humanity is no longer their prey. We are now the hunters. Any species that continues to threaten us will face extinction." Meanwhile, Captain Boris Shin had taken command of the asteroid defense fleet at Ceres Prime. Her ships were no longer the desperate mining vessels that had been slaughtered in the first alien attack. They were now crewed by enhanced humans who thought like predators. "The Necron bioships are returning," her sensor operator reported. "Same formation as before. They think they can finish what they started. They are about to learn why every other species on Earth went extinct," Bora replied. The bioships approached Ceres Prime with confidence. They had adapted their organic armor to resist human mining lasers. Their hive mind buzzed with shared memories of their previous easy victory. But the ships they faced now were very different. Bora's fleet did not attack the bioships directly. Instead, they released clouds of specially designed nano-machines stolen from Mesh Syndicate technology. The tiny robots were programmed to disrupt biological neural networks. The effect on the hive-minded Necrons was catastrophic. As the nano-machines infected their ships, individual crew members began to lose connection with the collective consciousness. For the first time in their species' history, Necrons experienced true isolation. "They are panicking," reported Bora's communications officer. "The bioships are firing randomly. They cannot coordinate their attacks." "Good. Now we show them what real hunters do to frightened prey." The enhanced human fleet moved in perfect coordination. They targeted the bioships' neural centers not to destroy them quickly, but to cause maximum suffering. Each attack was designed to isolate more Necrons from their hive mind. The screams of individual terror from thousands of Necrons echoed across space. Other alien fleets monitoring the battle heard the sounds and felt something they had never experienced before: fear of humanity. Dr. Una Park watched the battle reports from her laboratory on Europa. The enhanced humans were winning every engagement, but the victory was changing them further. "Their behavior patterns are evolving rapidly," she reported to Earth Command. "The enhancement is not just unlocking old instincts. It is creating new ones. They are becoming something humanity has never been before." "Are they still human?" asked President Do-hyun Yoon during a secure communication. "Genetically, yes. But psychologically, they are becoming a new subspecies. They think of unenhanced humans as their responsibility, but also as their inferiors. They see other species as either useful tools or obstacles to be removed. Should we be concerned? Mr. President, they are saving our species, but they are also redefining what our species is. The enhanced humans will not accept a return to the old ways of thinking." Across the solar system, the pattern repeated. Enhanced human forces struck at alien supply lines, communication networks, and support structures. They did not fight fair battles. They hunted their enemies like the apex predators they had become. The photonic assembly, made of pure energy beings, found their attacks useless against human ships equipped with energy-dampening fields. The crystalline resonance commune discovered that their harmonic weapons only made enhanced humans more focused and dangerous. Even the advanced Mesh Syndicate, with their cybernetic enhancements, could not match the psychological warfare capabilities of transformed humans. Enhanced Marines would capture mesh units and reprogram them to broadcast horror stories about human capabilities throughout the Syndicate network. Captain Minji, Lee commanded a squadron of stealth ships that had become legends of terror among alien fleets. Her vessels would appear without warning, strike at critical targets, and vanish before reinforcements could arrive. "Admiral," she reported after her latest mission, "the Drift Nomads are requesting withdrawal from the Coalition. They say fighting humans is like battling a force of nature that cannot be reasoned with or defeated." Admiral Park smiled his predator's smile. "Tell them that withdrawal will not save them. We know where their home systems are. We know where every Coalition species lives. They started this war, but we will finish it." The enhanced humans had learned something that their enemies could not understand. They were not fighting to win territory or establish dominance. They were fighting to ensure that no alien species would ever threaten humanity again. And that meant hunting down every threat, no matter where it tried to hide. The galaxy was about to learn what happened when you backed the ultimate predator species into a corner. You did not get a fair fight, you got hunted to extinction. The war lasted exactly 8 months and 12 days. Not because the alien coalition ran out of weapons or ships, but because they ran out of courage to continue fighting humanity. President Do Hyun-yoon stood in the Great Hall of the United Earth Government building, but he was no longer the same man who had first rejected the alien ultimatum. The enhancement process had changed every human leader. Their eyes held the cold calculation of apex predators who had reclaimed their rightful place in the universe. Before him knelt the representatives of 7 alien species. The proud Valdari warriors who had once demanded humanity's surrender now trembled before human power. The hive-minded Necrons could barely function as individuals after their collective consciousness had been shattered by human psychological warfare. "You came to our system with threats," President Yoon said, his voice carrying the authority of the ultimate predator. "You told us to abandon our colonies and confine ourselves to one world. You offered us the choice between slavery and death." The Valdari ambassador, a being that had once commanded starfleets, could not meet the president's gaze. "We were wrong. We did not understand what humanity truly was." "No, you did not. But now you do." Fleet Admiral Suman Lee stood beside the president. She had been among the first to undergo enhancement, and the transformation had made her into something magnificent and terrifying. Her fleets now controlled 17 star systems that had once belonged to coalition species. "The terms of surrender are simple," she announced. "Every species that participated in the coalition will provide tribute to humanity. Your most advanced technologies, your resource-rich worlds, your industrial capabilities, all of it now serves human expansion. And our people?" asked the Necron representative, its voice barely a whisper. "Will live as long as they remain useful to us. Any species that proves valuable to human civilization will be protected and provided for. Those that do not..." President Yoon did not finish the sentence. He did not need to. The alien representatives had seen what happened to species that resisted human rule. The apex hunters, who had believed themselves to be the galaxy's ultimate predators, had been hunted to extinction by enhanced human forces. Their homeworlds now served as examples of what happened when humans were truly threatened. Captain Jin-Ho Kim, who had first encountered the alien ships near Jupiter, now commanded an entire sector of space. His patrol routes extended across 12 star systems where 3 different alien species served as vassals to human authority. "Sir," reported his science officer, Dr. Mira Cho, who had also been enhanced, "the Crystalline Resonance Commune is requesting permission to expand their mining operations in the Kepler system." "Granted, but increase their tribute quota by 15%. They need to remember who their masters are." The aliens who had once threatened to exterminate humanity now competed desperately for human approval. They understood that their survival depended entirely on proving their worth to their new masters. On Mars, Colony Commander Taehyun Seo oversaw the integration of alien refugees who had fled their conquered homeworlds. The enhanced humans did not rule through cruelty alone. They could be generous masters to those who submitted completely to human authority. "The Drift Nomads have completed construction of the new orbital platforms," he reported to Earth Command. "Their gas harvesting technology has increased our fuel production by 300%. Excellent. Reward them with expanded living quarters and better food rations. Useful servants deserve proper care." But humanity's expansion was no longer limited to their own solar system. Enhanced human fleets had departed for distant galaxies, driven by instincts that could not be satisfied with mere dominance over their local enemies. Captain Young-Ho Nam commanded the exploration vessel UES Conqueror as it approached the Andromeda Galaxy. His crew of enhanced humans looked upon the billions of stars ahead with the hungry eyes of apex predators who had found new hunting grounds. "Long-range sensors detect multiple technological civilizations," reported his navigation officer. "Thousands of species, many with advanced spacefaring capabilities. Perfect. Signal Earth Command. Tell them we have found our next expansion zone." The enhanced humans had learned that they could never return to what they had been before the enhancement process. The genetic modifications were permanent, and more importantly, they no longer wanted to change back. Dr. Yuna Park, now the chief scientist studying human evolution, had documented the complete transformation of their species. Her reports painted a picture of humanity that was both magnificent and terrifying. We have become what we were always meant to be, she concluded in her final analysis. Not peaceful explorers or diplomatic negotiators, but the galaxy's ultimate apex species. Every other form of intelligent life now exists at our discretion. On Luna Base, engineer Kang Min Lim worked on projects that would have horrified his unenhanced predecessor. He was designing weapons of planetary destruction, tools for enslaving entire species, and biotechnology for remaking alien worlds in humanity's image. The new planetary conversion systems are ready for testing, he reported. We can transform any world to support human life within 2 years. The existing population can be relocated or eliminated, depending on their usefulness. The enhanced humans felt no guilt about their transformation. They had been given a choice between extinction and evolution, and they had chosen to become something greater than they had ever been before. Admiral Hyun Park, now the supreme commander of all human military forces, addressed the enhanced officers of his expanding fleets. We face no more existential threats. No species in this galaxy possesses the power to challenge human dominance. Our expansion is limited only by our ambition. What are your orders, sir? Asked Captain Bora Shin, whose fleets now controlled the resource-rich outer systems. Continue expanding. Every star system without human presence is a star system we have not yet claimed. Every alien species that has not sworn loyalty to humanity is a potential threat that must be eliminated or subjugated. As the months passed, reports came in from across human-controlled space. Alien species that had once been proud civilizations now served as workers, soldiers, and servants in the human empire. Their technologies, their resources, their very lives belonged to humanity. The few species that tried to resist were dealt with swiftly and completely. Enhanced human forces had perfected the art of total warfare. They did not simply defeat their enemies. They erased them from existence so thoroughly that other species would forget they had ever lived. Captain Jin-Ho Kim stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking out at a star system that had once belonged to the Photonic Assembly. The energy beings had been useful for a time, powering human space stations and providing advanced technology. But when they had attempted to rebel, they had been completely absorbed into human energy collectors. Sir, reported Lieutenant Taehyun Park, we are receiving surrender offers from 3 more species in the neighboring systems. They are offering complete submission in exchange for survival. Accept their surrender, but make it clear that any future resistance will result in their extinction. This was the new order of the galaxy. Humanity stood at the apex of all life, not through accident or luck, but because they had embraced their true nature as the ultimate predator species. President Do Hyun-yoon's final address to humanity was broadcast not just to Earth and its colonies, but to every alien species under human rule. His words would be remembered as the moment when the galaxy's new masters announced their dominion. The alien coalition came to us with the choice between slavery and death. They feared what humanity might become if left free to grow and expand. Their fears were justified. We have become exactly what they warned against, and we are magnificent. The enhanced humans looked upon their empire with satisfaction. Every threat had been eliminated or subjugated. Every world worth claiming belonged to them. Every species that still existed did so only because humans allowed it. But their hunger was far from satisfied. Beyond their galaxy lay millions of others, each filled with civilizations that did not yet know they were prey. The hunt would continue until every corner of the universe acknowledged humanity as its rightful masters, the galaxy's apex. Predators had finally claimed their throne.